So how old were you when you first started working at the pizza place?
16.
16. Was
Yep.
it your first job?
It was my very first job.
So you've worked the same job since you were 16 years old?
Yes.
And you now own it?
Yep.
That's an inspiring story right there. Like, all right, Brittany, I am super excited to be back in Bellefontaine again today. And I have to say, I've interviewed several, probably at least a couple dozen entrepreneurs, but you are my first celebrity entrepreneur I've got to interview. So
Thank you.
super excited to be here. And I say celebrity entrepreneur because you have been like all over the place on TV, White House, done like so many different interviews and stuff. Like, how does it feel to go to a big, like on a big national television or something like that? Like, how does that feel?
It was very honoring to be asked to be on that show because a lot of the people that were on with us, I actually have competed with or known for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I've been in the industry, this will be my 18th year here. So I've been competing since 2014 is when I won my first gold medal. So Nino, who was on the show with me, has actually been International Pizza Maker of the Year. So it was kind of honorable to be able to be on the same stage as him.
So there's like, to be in that environment and around those types of people, it's definitely by no mistake. So for those of you who don't know Brittany, she is the owner of the 600 downtown. Is it safe to say the best pizza in Bellefontaine, best pizza in Ohio?
I won't be mad about it.
All right, so I'd say it is really good pizza. Like, if you haven't been here to check it out, definitely go and check it out. But I'm curious, so how old were you when you first started working at the pizza place?
16.
16. Was
Yep.
it your first job?
It was my very first job.
So you've worked the same job since you were 16 years old?
Yes.
And you now own it?
Yep.
That's an inspiring story right there. Like, that is hope. I think every young person needs to hear that right there. Did you go to college or anything?
I did a little bit of trade school when I first had the kids because I thought that I needed to be out of the industry. The industry is very demanding. However, I graduated and realized that I didn't want to do that at all. I really enjoyed what I did my whole life, and I always believed that if you go to work and you enjoy it, it's not really ever work. And so why go do a job for somebody else?
The first question I would ask you is, what is it like to own a business in downtown?
I love owning the business in downtown, especially here in Bellefontaine, because the sense of community is so large. When I first started this, I grew up in my hometown of Kenton, Ohio, and started with my mentor, Michael Shepard.
Yeah.
I'd worked for him for 14 years before I took on the ownership of 600. So I helped build 600 from the day one, and taking on the ownership really, it was inspiring to continue to do more and grow more. We've been able to add quite a few new features to 600 since I've took over ownership with the patio and then the Bellefontaine edition, which you guys saw when you were down here the last time.
Yeah.
So to continue to grow the brand has been very inspiring and a momentum for me.
A lot of people try to give themselves the label of entrepreneur or business owner. What do you call yourself?
Pizza chef?
Pizza chef. I love it. I love it. I love it. And because I was doing some research on you, and I read that you had worked for the business for years under the mentorship of your former mentor.
Yep.
And I thought, wow, how cool is that? That she just didn't say, you know what, I'm going to start a pizza business from the ground up and try to do everything brand new. Because a lot of times what people do is they'll say, well, I'm an entrepreneur, I want to be an entrepreneur, so I got to start something brand new that no one's ever done before, but you took the route of buying the business that you worked at, and I think that's really cool.
I think it's really important because I helped grow the brand. A lot of the accolades and everything they came before my ownership. So to continue that was very important to me, and now I'm in a position where I'm getting my team to do the same competitions and get their accolades.
Yep.
And growing the passion that Michael gave to me and instilled in me is very important for the future of 600, I think.
Good stuff. So if folks haven't been to Bellefontaine, they haven't experienced the downtown life down here and just see all the small shops and the cool stores and the people and stuff like that, it's amazing. I can see why anybody would want to be down here, but after all the awards and cool stuff you've been through, what keeps you here in Bellefontaine?
The community.
The community?
The sense of community. All of us business owners, especially here in the downtown, we're very connected. We collaborate all the time. If we have problems, we're always there to help solve each other's problems. And in my hometown, it was rivalries all the time. Like, we were always against one another, or somebody was better or worse. And that's not what you have here. Like, we just have that sense of pride that we love the downtown and that we want to see it flourish. When 600 first came here, we were one of the only active businesses downtown outside of some like office space and a couple retails. And so I've really got to watch this downtown come back to life. So you get that small town lovable feeling with the big town vibe that we get to put off.
Yep. And so I'm from Springfield. So living in Springfield, we have downtown, and there's lots of folks who are pushing downtown, the revitalization, the historical buildings, and all the good stuff that comes with downtown work. And a couple weeks ago when I was down here, Jason Duff gave the tour, and I'm sure you've known. How long have you known Jason?
I've known Jason 10 years now.
10 years. So it's like, I think every city needs a Jason Duff.
They do.
And how instrumental do you think it was to have someone like Jason kind of orchestrating the downtown, the business aspect of things? Like, how important of a role has he played in your business?
In my business, Jason has been a huge role in our support and our branding and revisioning what it should be of the downtown. And I agree with you. A lot of the downtowns who are trying to revitalize need somebody who believes in it just as much as you believe in your own business, because they're going to help flourish and complement everything you're already doing.
So you talked a little bit about how there's not that sense of competition here in Bellefontaine. Like, has there ever been that, and it's kind of like a culture shift, or how would you explain that?
In our life in pizza, there's always competition. There's always 17 or 20 pizzerias in your hometown. So coming to this where somebody's just going to help collaborate and build with you and not really worry about those animosities it's a different culture shift, but it's enjoyable.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, I'm 33. I got a wife and I got kids, and I own my own business, and like life is a complete like shit show, to say the least, on most days, to be honest. How do you go about, like, because you called yourself the pizza chef, right? So most entrepreneurs have that itch, right? Or that it's a blessing and a curse, where it's like this obsession to grow, to build, to be active in your business. So how do you have any trouble, like, when you go home, separating it? Because with running a business, like, it's not something, like, it's not a part-time gig. It's something like you are either all in or you're not.
I'm also a mother of three. So I have an 11, 12, and 13-year-old.
Awesome.
They've grown up most of their life. This is all they know.
Yep.
So they know mom's gone on the weekends, and I'm home with them typically for dinner, school, all that jazz. But it's that balance. They just kind of understand it, and our life understands it. So it's not really been a shift in that nature at all.
Who inspired you growing up to kind of start down this path?
My mom.
My
mom had me when she was 15. So hard work and dedication to both being a mother and making sure to provide has definitely been something that's made me continue to do so.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Did you have any entrepreneurs or business owners in your family?
No, I'm the first.
Good deal. So it sounds like, now correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like your mentor, who owned the business prior to you purchasing the business, and he was there for you since day one, since you started at 16? He owned the business?
He owned the business.
So talk to me about, like, some of the, like, principles he instilled in you. Like, was he hands-on? Did he show you guys the ropes? Did he try to encourage you? Was he grooming you to buy the business one day, or how did it work?
The buying the business part kind of just fell into place. Eventually he was ready to retire out, but Michael was always a driver for that ownership mentality. Like, you own what you do and you enjoy it. Michael is also on the same pizza team that I am on, and he was accoladed in many ways in acrobatic tossing. And I believe in being great at what you do. And so if he could do it, I could do it. His sister was also a competitor. So she's the first woman in the world to ever win the medals that I have, and I'm the second. Tell
me about the medals. What exactly are they? Where did they come from, and how important are they to you?
The medals are super important. I competed every time in Las Vegas. So I'm a 5-time world pizza champion with 5 gold medals, 2 world records, and it's in the fastest pizza tossing. So I take 5 medium dough balls and toss them out as fast as possible. My first record was 33.94. My second is 28.86. So
28 seconds. You can take 5 dough balls and turn them into pizzas?
Yep.
That's impressive.
So
that is good stuff.
That's where all of my recognition has come from.
Good deal. So, and then like you've been on different TV shows, you've been to the White House. Tell me the story about how did the White House story, and when was it? It was kind of recent, wasn't it?
It was 2018 when I went to the White House. I was on Food Network in 2017 for Guys Grocery Games, which they called the store, and I was hoping to get on the Diners, Dives, and Dives because that was awesome. But I'll take the Grocery Games. I had no clue what I was doing, but it was the most stressful fun I've ever had in my life. The White House was a 12-hour prep. They called me. We were supposed to go down with the Small Business Association anyways and sit in the Rose Garden and listen to the speech. We were getting ready to leave to head out, and they called and asked me to do that presentation for them.
Wow.
So Jason actually helped me write my speech for that because I'm not the best at the whole public speaking gig. So we flew out, we flew back, and it was all said and done. But it gave me some really awesome pictures with the president.
So you got to meet the president?
I did get to meet
you
the
met
president.
Trump?
Yeah, I did.
Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
We won't go down that route.
Nope.
But it's a whole other conversation. But I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, to go experience the White House, to experience that environment right there. Were you nervous?
Very nervous, but being in the position I've been in my whole life, once you get up there, you kind of just phase it out and just do what you're supposed to and get it done.
Good deal. That's awesome. That's awesome. So being a small business owner myself, I have a degree in social work. So I like to help people, you know, so I was never formally trained in business or management or like hiring people or growing a team or anything like that. So I'm more or less like making mistakes to figure everything out on my own. So, and as we were getting set up here, you told me you have 50 people that are employed at the downtown pizza place. Like, when you're hiring somebody, what are you looking for?
Their vibe. Their vibe needs to connect with our culture. It's very important. We work very cohesively as a team with the front of the house and the back of the house. We don't have a lot of those front and back animosities because we believe in the family unit. It takes every single one of my people to be successful, from me to the bottom. And so if we can't vibe together during their interview, they probably aren't going to be a good fit for us.
Yep. So the first thing you look for is the vibe, right? And then get them in the door. How do you go about, like, this is going to sound like a really amateur question, but what is your training process like? How do you take somebody who is like, hey, I want a job, and turn them into a pizza chef or somebody who is proud to work for 600 downtown?
You sell them your why. It's a good Simon Sinek saying, like, they have to believe in your why, and then they buy into your passion. I believe working side by side with most of my people. On Friday nights, you're going to find me in that kitchen on the oven, and I'm going to help coach and guide all those people. And then I built a really amazing management team that's going to do the same exact thing and pass down the same instillabilities that I have with them. So from start to finish, they're always working with somebody who really believes in what we're doing.
Good stuff. So I'm going to guess again and say, was that something that you watched your previous mentor kind of teach you, and did you just see him do that and kind of pick up on what he did, or was your style different than his?
Very opposite. Michael was you had to get in with Michael to get him to open up like that. And I was very blessed to have that opportunity with him. But I also knew that I wanted to be different than that. I wanted everybody to feel like they fit in with us and that they belonged, and that it was going to be something that they could turn into a career instead of just the job.
Good deal. So, times are really good right now for business. Coming out of the pandemic, it seems like everybody's got extra money to spend. Everybody's itching to be back outside. Talk to me a little bit about like how you were able to adapt to the pandemic environment and stuff like that. And I'm sure, you've done several interviews before, but I just want to hear from you, like, what were how did you pivot and do different things?
I came from delivery carryout, so losing my dine-in was a secondary thing for me.
Yeah.
So it was an easy transition just to turn it back. I think one of the best worst ideas I ever had was pizza kits, because it got people to experience what it was like to make their pizzas. And we sold, I think the first week I enrolled, and we sold over 400 pizza kits.
Wow.
And had to put like a time cap on them and stuff. But I really believe in any business, you have to be very fluid.
Yep.
You can't be stuck in old ways to gain new momentum.
But from your background, you already had a strength set that when the pandemic hit, you're like, I've been doing this for a long time. This is nothing new to me.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I love it. That's awesome, man. It's weird because like I always take my experience of like living in Springfield and my background and my education and my network of people and try to, and then I'll come out to like Bellefontaine or go to a different city or something like that, or Columbus, and I'll like compare like, well, we do it this way and this is how it's done here, and one thing that I've particularly not done very well is build business professional relationships and understand the challenges that a female entrepreneur or a female business owner like takes on. Because I look at Springfield and it's very dominant with men, right? And the pizza industry it's a male dominant industry. Like when you think of the pizza man, you think of a guy for some reason. Like it's just something in my mind. So how, what types of challenges have you had and how have you been able to overcome like being a female in this industry?
Definitely when I first started, especially with the competition world, we compete with people from all across the world, including Italy. So those guys come over with their Italian mindset, and women we're supposed to be pretty. I believe it's a mindset and an excuse to fall to that, and they can't discredit hard work. And so I always believe in showing up and showing out. I never let that mindset be the thing that distracted me.
Yep. Good. You're right. The work ethic. I mean, just that always speaks for itself right there. Man, it's funny that when I was doing some research on the way up here and, previously about things that you've done and things that you've been through and stuff like that. And I learned that, being in downtown, that when you come downtown to Bellefontaine right now, like it's a lot different now than it was 5 or 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
And I learned that from the tour. And I think what's really cool is that you've been here for years and seen this place come to life, Tell me a little bit about how important it is to have that in a city, right? Because, Bellefontaine is not just downtown Bellefontaine. Like Bellefontaine, do you know how many people live in this town, in the city?
I think it's like 13,000.
13,000. So you've got your other side. What do you guys call the other side of Bellefontaine? The other side of Bellefontaine?
The other side of Bellefontaine.
They're not downtown. How important is it to have, that downtown lifestyle for you guys? Because it sounds like you've been in the pizza place every Friday night for probably years, But how important is the downtown lifestyle to this community?
It's very important because this vibe continues on. So once you've gotten down here, you fall in love with what we do and you want to explore so much more of what we have to offer. And, we have the caverns and we have the castles and we have all these cool things. We have the mountain, the lake, all within our community. And once you get here, you find out about all those things, and then it becomes weekend trips and bringing your family back trips. And we've really become a destination spot, which is amazing. You look at my analytics and 80% of my business is out-of-towners, are first-time customers.
Wow.
So we have our locals and we have our loyal customers that are in once, twice, 3 times a week, and we love them, know them by name. But we also see all the new faces all the time, and it's inspiring to continue to want to grow.
Yep.
Even right now, we're talking about an expansion to add delivery carryout so we can focus more on our dine-in location. But I would never leave my downtown location here.
Good deal. What's your goals? What are you working towards? What do you want to accomplish? What's the next 5 years look like for you?
Next 5 years will be open that delivery carryout. One day I want to own a lake house and maybe open one up there.
At Indian Lake?
Yeah.
Good deal.
But stay close because I really did fall in love with this community when I came here. I was fortunate enough to move my family here 3-4 years ago. And so continuing to stay in this community is much different than the hometown I grew up in.
Good deal. So, to kind of wrap up, I always like to ask people if you could give advice to somebody who is just starting a business or just bought a business. What type of advice would you give somebody who is like really eager to do this and really passionate about the thing that they do? What advice would you give that person?
Naysayers are always going to be in your ear. Don't listen.
Ignore the haters, huh?
Yeah.
Good deal. Oh man, that's very true. Is there anything that you wanted to specifically talk about today that maybe I didn't get a chance to ask you, or anything that you'd like to hit on? Because I was, like I said, you've done so many different things, and I'm just curious as to.
I think you hit everything I would want to talk about.
So, all right, Brittany, thank you very much. I think that, since it is 11:14 and we're in downtown Bellefontaine, it is a rite of passage to go down and eat at 600 downtown. So I'm going to go down there and grab some pizza and maybe grab some shots of the building and include them in the video here. But again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. I have to say that you're just not like when I say the traditional entrepreneur or the traditional business owner, like you are the definition of a hard worker that has persevered and stayed true to your one thing throughout your entire life and been super successul doing it. And I think that's awesome. So
well, thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you so much for talking with me and having this interview. And I just think, and I think that if my gold nugget from this is that you don't have to always do something that's brand new and something that's different. You can take something that you love, that you're passionate about, find the right person to help guide you down that path, and one day you can own your own business and be successful doing your thing.
Well, thank you again. I had a really great time talking with you today.
Good deal.